Hey, what's going on? This is Miniature Gold. This is episode 3 of Meet Your Maker. I interviewed Morrie the Magpie on the Kaizo hacks he created. Those are Chi, Get On Up, and Fresh Hops. And what you'll see in this interview is Morrie cares a lot about community, about involving people in the community, whether that's being inspired by them, collaborating with them, and he also is good at acknowledging how he benefits from the communities that he participates in. And something also that Maury's good at is coming up with simple but unique concepts and making really fun like level mechanics out of it. So you'll see that and more in this interview, and I hope you enjoy. Thank you for watching. All right, hey, today I'm interviewing Maury the Magpie, um, and they created Chi, Fresh Hops, and Get On Up, and soon, I'm not sure how soon, but soon to release Fresh Hops 2 as well. Yeah?
Oh yeah, yeah. Hopefully pretty soon. Next couple of months, hopefully.
Okay,
So
nice, nice. Yeah, so we'll start off just asking questions like more generally to get an idea of just how you got into Kaizo, but then we'll ask
yeah.
more questions specifically about the hacks that you made. And
Okay.
we'll try to keep this to like an hour.
Yeah.
So yeah, what got you into Kaizo?
Um. So it's kind of I think a similar journey to how other people got into Kaizo.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of just browsing YouTube one day,
Mm-hmm.
and I was recommended a DGR video.
Okay.
And he was playing some Super Mario Maker 2 like troll levels. And kind of got hooked on that. And from there, I kind of was able to stumble upon Ryu Carr and
Mm-hmm.
Carl Sagan.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of got wrapped up into the Mario Maker and Mario Maker 2 world.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't been involved in video games in quite a long time. I think it had been at least like 10 or 15 years since I had touched a video game. I
Oh
was
wow.
I was really active as a child with like SMB3 and SMB2,
Mm-hmm.
and played a little Super Mario World. I actually that was one of the games I never was able to get on my Super Nintendo. So,
Mm-hmm.
but played a lot of SM64 and stuff. And from there, after watching those videos, I kind of made a Twitch account and
Mm-hmm.
stumbled upon Barbarous King. And he was that was, Barb was the first. I guess, streamer that I had ever seen play a Mario World ROM hack,
Mm-hmm.
and I never really gave it much thought at the time. But then I started finding all of these like wonderful creators and streamers and stuff that were playing Super Mario World. And kind of as I got tired of Mario Maker 2,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of slowly transitioned over to Kaizo
Mm-hmm.
because I thought it was just a wonderful display of creativity.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, it was like I said, I think it's a similar journey. Obviously, when COVID hit, I was able to have a lot of free time because I was laid off.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of started dabbling in lunar magic because I was just super impressed by all these wonderful ROM hacks that were just blew my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I think one of the first ones I had stumbled upon was Morsel's elephants,
Mm-hmm.
and oh my goodness, what a treat that was to see that.
So I have a few follow-up questions.
Yeah.
So you said there was like a 15-year period where you were not playing any video games.
hmm
Well, why is that, you think?
Um, just in time. I think time and things like that. I mean, there's probably deeper psychological issues that we won't get into today,
Sure.
but
Okay.
no.
Mm-hmm.
um, well, you don't want to be the nerdy kid playing video games, right? No, I'm
Mm-hmm.
just kidding. uh,
Yeah, no, no
it was
nerds
just
on Twitch.
yeah, no nerds on Twitch, right? I think it was just a lack of time.
Okay.
I was working quite a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and just didn't really have a whole lot of time for video games and things like that.
Okay.
So, um, Yeah, it was a very very long time, and then obviously when COVID hit, I had time, and that's kind of where I started getting back into the world of video games, and
Mm-hmm.
and I kick myself for missing out on all of that, all of those experiences, and
Mm-hmm.
trying to go back and play all these wonderful hacks, and
Yeah.
obviously dabbling in other video games too
Mm-hmm.
if I can, and
Right.
it's just been wonderful to be back.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And then, at which point did you decide to stop playing Mario Maker? Like, what was the impetus for that?
Um, I think the nail in the coffin for me
Mm-hmm.
was when Nintendo announced that there was not going to be any additional updates to the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what solidified it for me. I had been kind of playing around with SMW already, and I was kind of splitting my time.
I see.
But as soon as they put that final nail in the coffin with no more updates, I was just like, yeah, I could keep creating and stuff like that. But that's kind of when I transitioned over to being kind of a full time SMW person.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Hmm.
And when you were watching these other like YouTubers or streamers like DGR, Barb, etc., did this influence how you make trolls at all? Um,
Kaizo block over a pit type trolls. No. I definitely trolling. I not many of my hacks have a whole lot of trolls.
mm-hmm.
There's little like gotcha moments and things like
Mm-hmm.
that, but I definitely I think my play testers that I've had,
Mm-hmm.
people like
Mm-hmm.
Tehgoocherer and Tofugawa,
Yeah.
really reeled me back on
Oh,
saying
okay.
this just is not funny.
Oh, okay, okay.
So, and I've kind of, there was definitely a lot of trolling going on in my early days.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I was kind of more looking at the older hacks, because we hadn't quite gotten into the Kaizo revolution, that COVID provided.
Mm-hmm.
The so-called COVID hacks,
Yeah.
and so I was looking at things like Dram World and
Mm-hmm.
Grand Poo World and things like that.
Right.
So kind of the older hacks were, they were particularly mean,
Yeah, yeah.
with some of their gimmicks. So, um, but yeah, I mean, I started off trolly, and I've kind of gotten less trolly. I'm been more of a fan of the anti-troll, but occasionally,
Okay.
a funny helper block goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel like I might be wrong here, but I feel like between like Chi, Fresh Hops, and Get On Up, I felt like the like end of level trolls like really ramped up and Get On Up.
yeah, get on up was um, that was my second hack.
Oh, your second hack. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So after, Chi was kind of the let's mess around and make a hack.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I didn't really have like a whole lot of experience with SMW hacking, and so I was just
Mm-hmm.
like, let's just make a hack and just see what happens.
Yeah.
So that's where Chi came from, and then Get On Up was just like, oh, I know everything now. Let's
Okay.
go and make a hack, and let's put my stamp on the world. And oh my
Right.
gosh, did that blow up brilliantly. Um, I like Get On Up. It's a good hack.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely, I think it needed about another 6 months of cooking though. I think I kind of pushed that out a little bit too soon.
Hmm.
Because I was just so eager to keep making hacks.
Right.
And so, got a little ahead of myself, I think, on that one, and maybe some of the trolls and things like that could have been ramped down a little
I
bit.
see.
It
Okay.
did not have the polish that it should have had, compared to something like a Fresh Hops.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so aside from like toning down the trolls, if you had that 6 months, like what would have you have changed with that with Get On Up?
I think I would have cleaned up the platforming quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of really awkward setups, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of obtuse obstacles. Um, and I think I definitely would have done a lot more palette work, especially in relation to like the background foreground contrasts,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and things like that.
Yeah.
I obviously, I mean, with any one of my hacks, I could absolutely nitpick it to death.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
But I think those are sort of the glaring issues with Get On Up is that
Mm-hmm.
it just needed that little extra bit of polish.
I see. Okay. And as far as like, how did you approach making your first hack? Did you look at SMW tutorials? Did you talk to people? Like, what did you do as far as that?
I kind of just jumped in.
Mm-hmm.
I did watch a couple of tutorials.
Mm-hmm.
The Dan of Most Trades video that gets
Mm-hmm.
passed around quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
As well as I did look at Barb's Lunar Magic tutorial as well.
Yeah.
And honestly, I just started creating. I didn't necessarily get influenced by one particular thing. I just wanted to make stuff.
Okay. Okay.
And the first few levels that I had made, I wasn't necessarily looking to make a hack. I just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to make some stuff. And so I made a couple of like one-off levels and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of just shared them with friends.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, and they played them, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, good try, good try." And so yeah, it was just kind of a learning experience. And when I decided to finally make Chi, I really just kind of wanted to kind of just make something that people would have fun playing,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
honestly, and that I could say I made an SMW hack,
Right.
and uh it was definitely a learning experience. We
Mm-hmm.
did not have the tools that we have today. I don't know how many times I bricked my ROM, uh,
Oh,
trying
okay.
to bricked my hack, trying to insert this patch or this patch.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what the hell free RAM was. I it was definitely a learning experience.
Right.
And obviously there was some influences along the way, like, oh, that's really cool, I want to do a level like that.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of got incorporated with that, so it was definitely a journey.
And so, like you sharing initial levels with friends, that was just like a way of you get like a taste test, basically. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
mm-hmm.
just to kind of see if I'm on the right track, and
Mm-hmm.
if it was even any good. And yeah, I mean, there was some flashes there of some good stuff, but
Yeah.
overall it was just me kind of goofing off. So
Okay, makes sense. Let's talk about chi. So that was your first hack, yeah?
yeah, Chi was my first hack, yes.
And so my understanding, if I recall correctly, is the premise of this is like, well, as far as like the lore goes, is Mario has lost his purpose and he's trying to rediscover it, basically, right?
Yeah, the lore, because we all
Mm-hmm.
pay attention to the lore in
Yeah,
hacks, right?
yeah. So,
um,
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. You can go ahead. That's fine.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask you, this premise, was it purely for the game or did it come from anywhere personal for you?
It was I think definitely a mix of both, right?
Okay.
It was just like I kind of you kind of have to have something, right? You have to have something. You
Mm.
can't. I didn't want to just have, oh, Peach has been kidnapped again and
Yeah.
things like that. Like obviously that's, or Luigi's missing and
Yeah,
Mario
yeah,
must
yeah.
go right. It's just like I don't really want to do that.
Right, right.
Um, and she kind of came from um kind of just COVID, right?
Mm.
So it was just like I was sitting at home, like not doing anything, and it was just like, what am I doing?
Hmm.
you know, and just kind of at a crossroads with a
Right.
lot of different things. And um, that the lore for that was kind of towards the end that I kind of incorporated that.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have an overworld. I
Right.
didn't feel like doing an overworld. I just kind of wanted to make levels,
Mm-hmm.
and I had these collection of levels, and I'm just like, what am I doing with these? And that was just a question I was asking all the time, sitting at home.
Right.
Was what am I doing? What am I doing? I don't have any sort of direction. I'm just sitting here
Mm-hmm.
waiting. And so I think, there was definitely some real life implications with that. Like, what if I don't get called back to work? What am I going to do?
Mm-hmm.
What am I even good at?
Right.
And so there was definitely a little bit of soul searching there.
Mm-hmm.
Would I say it's the primary reason why I chose the lore that I did? Probably not, but it honestly does fit with the time
Right.
that hack was created.
Mm. And related question, if you're comfortable answering it,
Hmm.
can I ask what you did for work?
Yeah, so I work for a university,
Okay.
a public university, and
Mm-hmm.
still do. So I did get called back, albeit
Nice.
I'm in a
Okay.
different role now, but
Yeah.
definitely I work in higher education. So
Gotcha. And do you have any like programming experience or no?
I have zero programming
Oh, okay.
experience.
Okay.
I everything that I've learned and related to programming has been because of SMW.
Mm-hmm.
I did some web design in high school.
Mm-hmm.
With the programming a website in Notepad.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the only type of experience that I have.
Mm-hmm.
I have before getting an SMW, I had zero ASM knowledge.
Yeah. Um, Also, I did I don't know, I kind of like the whole like in Chi you have these like episodes slash like chapter screens like before
Hmm.
you go into the level.
Yeah.
Um and I noticed Future Hacks didn't have that. And I know you said that you did that because you didn't want to mess with the overworld. So I assume with later hacks you actually had more of a desire to work on the overworld in that case.
Yeah. So yeah, with Chi, I just kind of wanted it to be like a story.
Mm-hmm.
It was I didn't really have any other I didn't have a basis to go on. I don't think there
Mm-hmm.
was really a hack that I could reference that did the no overworld ASM.
Okay.
So I wanted to kind of transition from one level to another
Okay.
as this journey. I think a hack that would probably be a similar feel to that would be Mario goes to White Castle, Mario and
Mm.
Luigi go to White Castle.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
hack. That would be a hack with a similar feel.
Mm-hmm.
But just I was just like, well, how do I? You complete the level and you don't really like. I just felt like you needed to go somewhere, right?
Right.
I
Right.
felt like you needed to go on this journey with Mario, and so transitioning between one level to the kind of introducing the next level,
Right.
in most of those was something that I really wanted to kind of guide I wanted to kind of create an immersion almost. I know it's
Okay.
difficult to do that, especially when you're in a streaming thing, but
Mm-hmm.
when you're just playing by yourself or something like that, and you just kind of go from one place to the next, you just kind of feel like you're along for the journey. So
Right.
that was
Okay.
just kind
Makes
of
sense.
an aesthetic choice.
Mm-hmm.
So
And I notice a lot of the titles of these levels are like shout outs to like other streamers.
yeah. I'm a community guy.
Mm-hmm.
I love involving people in my hack making.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas they're contributing something, or they're just really good people to be around or to hang
Mm-hmm.
out with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, the people in Chi really kind of helped me get more involved with the S&W community,
Mm-hmm.
and have just been really good people to be around. Some of them are from Mario Maker. These were the people that kind of made me feel comfortable being
Mm-hmm.
around and being integrated into this community and the Mario Maker community.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to kind of just give a little special shout out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very very much a community person that really loves involving people and getting involved.
Mm-hmm.
with big things, little things.
Right.
I love being a part of the community.
Um, I was telling Maury before we started today that I have been watching all of well, not all of, but for Chi, for Fresh Ops, for Get On Up, I've been watching Tehgoocherer's like speedrun videos, and I really appreciated the one for Chi, this particular one that I watched for Chi, because he actually gives some background for each of the levels, which is very helpful. And for exit number two, Taguch Shores, I guess a lot of the setups are there because he hates them, and you know he hates them. So
And of course, Morrie had to put
and so
all
I
the
think
things
it's
I
really
hate in
cool that it's not just a
levels
shout
in
out, but
this
it's
level.
also like it relates to the person themselves as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't say every level for Chi
Right.
is reflective of that. But you know, it's very much you can definitely tell who my very close friends are
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in the hack, just based on what I've done for them.
Yeah.
I Demise Desert of Demise has Fanto,
Um,
and
that one
Demise
flower
now
can
Demi.
sometimes shoot a
Um,
flame that ends up killing you, so
it is a
I
very
usually wait for that
she and her and Fanto
to
have
see if it
a
happens or
very
not, and
very
then I
long
go.
history. And
Technically,
so
it
I
is
wanted to
faster if you
include
don't
that.
use
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Gooch and Dolphins, they have a very very long history
Mm-hmm.
that was further capitalized by his playthrough in
Yeah.
Kaizo 3. So there was definitely some really good shout outs, and honestly, like you can kind of tell who the very close friends are that you kind
Right.
of rib them a little bit
Mm-hmm.
with what you've created.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I don't necessarily think this is what you were trying to communicate, but this is what I was interpreting, which was that, you know, the people that we associate with can also help us like guide us as far as like meaning and purpose. Which I think in this case, as far as like, guiding how you would make some of your levels. Um I'm not gonna
yeah,
cover. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I say you're looking way too much into that.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Um So I'm gonna name some things. I'm not gonna name everything in this hack, just
Okay.
so I don't keep you for too long. But some
Okay.
things I thought were interesting was in Shelling Voyage. I think you had
A
some
tile at
like
the end that you need to master.
coin dependent entry. It has like a certain number of coins to get past an obstacle or something. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. So Shelling Voyage it's a hell of a level. And
Why
I
is that?
emphasize hell. It's become such a meme between kind of like Tehgoocherer and
Oh my
Tofugawa.
god, those
They
ghosts.
despise that level,
Oh,
right?
really? Okay.
And it's such a meme because it's so long,
Mm-hmm.
and
Speed
you
strats
have
for
to
this level
collect. It's
mainly
got a coin
are just
collection,
first cycling as much as possible.
clear check, a clear condition, if you
Mm-hmm.
will,
Yeah.
And
reminiscent of
not
the
dying,
Mario
of
days. It's
course.
actually Shelling Voyage is actually named after a Mario Maker streamer named Fanderson,
Mm-hmm.
Fanderson 12. His one of his levels
So
was
yeah,
named
those two
Shelling
tiles there,
Voyage.
you wouldn't be able to
Mm-hmm.
pass through those
It
if you
didn't
didn't get
have
all
the
the
clear
coins.
condition, but
Fun
oh my
fact,
gosh, that level.
the
Everyone gets to that third level and they're like, "What the hell is this?"
Is it specifically because of the clear condition, or is it because of something else?
It's just very very long, and the
Oh,
end
I see.
is
Okay.
the end is awful. The end is very very awful. It's got one of the most tough disco shell bounces you can
Mm,
do.
mm-hmm.
Um, and it's very much a uh, it's definitely an unrefined level.
I
So
see. I see. Okay. Okay. Um. Oh, I was noticing a pattern, but I don't know if it's necessarily a pattern of yours or if it's just with making Kaizo levels in general. But I noticed a lot of levels that you made were kind of enclosed, but I don't know if that's necessary to like put like this pressure of precision on the player, or if it's just like how do you feel about like the spacing in Kaizo levels?
Um, I definitely think a lot of my I think as I've evolved as a creator, I
Mm-hmm.
really do like precision platforming.
Mm-hmm.
But not necessarily like a Nix hack where it's complete precision. But I really do like to try to force the player to do these very quick movements.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I've watched kind of going back to Chi. I think it was Plasma Steak that I watched
Mm-hmm.
play Chi, and it almost plays like a standard hack. There's a lot of different areas. I mean, there's at least two levels
Mm-hmm.
that are just completely standard.
Yeah.
If you were to look at it, and um, I do pull a lot of inspiration from standard hacks
Mm-hmm.
that require that type of precision.
Yeah.
Especially, I'm thinking like the of jumps and platforms,
Mm-hmm.
or some of the gimmicks from Jump Team,
Mm-hmm.
where you have to find the timing, or find the way that you can kind of get through something. Um, and I think the Kaizo precision, where we have to do these type jumps through munchers and stuff rather than just a really tight regrab or something like that. I definitely would say that my precision platforming is more inspired from something of a standard hack than, say,
Mm.
a
Okay.
Kaizo hack.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a difference, a small difference between standard precision and Kaizo precision.
Yeah.
Um, I like to be more execution based
Mm-hmm.
rather than, oh my gosh, I have to like thread the needle. I like the player to execute a number of different things sequentially to kind of get through somewhere, rather than having this low ceiling of munchers,
Right. Yeah.
where you have to thread through a one tile gap space.
Yeah, I think you definitely have to give some leeway.
Hmm.
Otherwise it's well, number one, it's a lot of repetition. It's also just it seems very demanding. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely feel like some leeway is required.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. I would say, I really enjoyed Purgatory, by Fire. Just a really really good precision platformer
Mm-hmm.
that just required you to do a lot of execution, rather than making something just really really impossibly tight with
Right.
death blocks or
Mm-hmm.
munchers or something. Just really required you to execute platforming sequentially.
Um, Also, on another topic, something I really like that you did for Chi is I believe a lot of the ends of levels will have the background of the next level to like lead into it.
Hmm.
Oh, and I also
Yeah.
don't like up close.
Um, that's very cool. Although Tehgoocherer pointed out that one of those I
Fun
think
fact:
you removed, and
that
so
is not
the it's the
representation of
background
the
for a
next
level
level.
that
There was
um,
actually a level that Morrie cut, and
is
then
no longer
nobody ever
there.
fixed the end of this level.
Could possibly be. It's been a while.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know that there was some. I believe that it's at the end of. Um, just trying to think here.
Mm-hmm.
It might be at the end of Tigoo's Shores. Um, I had an idea for that, but it just ended up not panning out. So,
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. But yeah,
just
overall though,
what they should have.
the idea is really cool. I think I've seen other hackers do it too. I feel like I can't remember if Grand Poo World 2 does that too, where like we'll show well some of the levels do, not all the levels do that, but
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely an immersion thing, right?
yeah,
You kind
yeah,
of
for
want to
sure.
give a preview to the next, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's definitely some hacks that absolutely do that, and I'm just one of many, I'm sure. So,
Yeah. And then something that stood out to me that I just thought looked really fun was this boss for full bloom
I guess
beetles.
this counts as a
Basically,
boss.
it gives me like this like Indiana Jones vibe as far as like running away from this giant ass beetle.
Yeah, that boss is. I had a lot of fun with that.
Mhm.
I
There, it's
hate that guy over
definitely
there.
super janky.
Oh, okay. Janky
I
how
mean,
like
It
I've
lines
just
up
tried. You
easier.
know, I just honestly was just messing around
mhm.
in the ASM
Okay,
file for that
Yeah.
that was
beetle,
a scam.
trying not to get it to because normally what happens with that boss is it'll spin for a little while and
Mm-hmm.
then it'll shoot something at you and you have to try to it's not meant to be used in the
Didn't quite
capacity that I
hang over
used it
right, but
for.
that's
Oh, okay.
fine.
And so I was just honestly
Still
just
worked.
screwing around and changing values in the ASM
Yeah.
file because I didn't know what I was doing. And
Quite
I
challenging to
finally
go
got it to
fast
work, and I'm
on
just like,
top of that
okay, we're gonna just
big
work
beetle
with
shell.
this. We're gonna just design the level around this because I'm sick
Yeah,
of playing around with it. And so it's definitely got some like collision issues,
yeah. hmm
where you can get like some hyper speed out of it if you make it hit a wall a certain way. But I really tried to design that escape sequence, if you will,
Right.
um, where I tried to design around that so you wouldn't encounter that you would always kind of have the same experience every single time.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be consistent. So that was a lot of fun. That was, I guess, my first quote unquote custom boss fight. I've never really wanted to do like standard boss fights. Obviously I do have a certain amount of them that I've done that I've just okay, yeah, we could just do a regular boss fight here. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always tried to introduce different things that you have to do in addition to defeating the boss.
Right.
The boo fight that happens later on, where you still have to avoid all these poison mushrooms,
Mm-hmm.
and things like that, or the Reznor at the end of Chi, that's like a rail gun. Um, and there's this Potaboo
I
that
find the
I would say that the end
mushroom
fight
is
to
just
Chi is
distracting
probably
looking
one of
at
the most
going
normal boss
tumescent
fights
Mario.
I've tried to create.
mm-hmm.
But I've just always enjoyed the challenge of doing something else other than just fighting the boss.
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
I've really enjoyed trying to create engaging boss fights that you're not just looking at the boss, you're also looking at the level as well.
So, for me, I think it's a good time to transition into Get On Up because there's a boss that really stood out for me in Exit 11, called Point Break. Um, you've got this
Yeah.
boss, and I'm like, okay, so my honest response when I first
Yeah.
saw this boss, I was like, what the hell is this? Because it just looks entirely different from what I'm used to seeing in SMW.
Hmm.
But is that originally like a sprite from Yoshi's Island or something or?
Yeah. So something that I think people have started to
Yeah.
realize is
Mhm.
I'm a fan of Yoshi's Island.
Okay. Okay.
So that's Tap Tap the Red Nose,
Yeah.
from I believe World 7, or no, not
Ah.
World 7,
Mhm.
Jump to your
World
death, you
6.
fuck.
Or World 5. There's only six worlds in Yoshi's Island.
Mm.
Wow, it's been a very long time
Not
since I
great,
played
not
Yoshi's
terrible.
Island. I played it for thousands of hours as a kid.
Yeah.
And I really really love like the sprites and the gameplay of
Yeah.
Yoshi's Island. It's just it was one of my favorite games growing up. And so when I saw this Tap Tap boss on SMW Central, I was just like, I've got to use this somehow. And it actually wasn't really that bad to get working.
Mhm.
Once I knew what I was doing, it was one of those cases where I'm just like, oh yeah, we're just gonna throw this in here,
Mhm.
and then it didn't work, and I couldn't figure out for the longest time why.
Mhm.
And it's something called a dynamic sprite,
Yeah.
so you need to have this additional patch to make it work. So once I was able to figure out, oh, I need to insert this patch. Well,
Mhm.
then of course it worked beautifully. Um, but I just, I was just like, I need a boss. I need an ending boss here. Let's just try to make this work and
Right.
see if we can design a boss around it. And
Hmm.
it's silly.
Yeah, it is.
It's very very silly. Um, excuse me. Um, but it keeps with the levels gimmick,
Hmm.
where you can't collect any points.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
you know, um, originally I wanted you to sort of hit it twice for it to go in the lava, but in playtesting, you can just have it jump into the lava,
Yeah.
which is obviously what most people end up doing. I think it was Grand Pooh Bear that ended up doing it the way that I intended it for it to do.
Hmm.
Um, which was really good to see. It was really good to see someone defeat the boss that way. But
Yeah.
it's just a silly boss. It's not meant to be like, oh my god, I can't believe they cheesed my boss. It's just supposed to be just kind of a kooky, funny boss that you
Hmm.
just don't really know what to do with, and it's people I think overall are either confused by it or they're just like, oh, that was cool.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that was good.
So, I think it's cool because I don't see too many bosses where you just like I've seen the concept before, but I just lately don't see it in SMW Kaizo where you have to like dunk the boss in lava. So I just think the seeing something different that we haven't seen in a while is nice. And now can you I only saw Gooch playing it, but can you also attack it with throw blocks then?
Yeah, yeah, you can so basically how it's programmed is, and this is true in the game as well. Um Honestly, in the game you also have to dunk it in lava. That you have to
Mm,
destroy these colored blocks,
okay.
for it to go into lava.
Yeah.
But if you try to hit it, you can also hit it in the lava with Yoshi's eggs,
Mm-hmm.
and the equivalent of that is throw blocks
Mm-hmm.
here,
Mm-hmm.
um, where he'll kind of teeter on the edge, but he'll be able to regain himself, his composure, if you will,
Ah,
and
okay. Yeah.
so he'll teeter on the edge, and you have to hit him again with another throw
I
block or an
see.
egg,
Yeah.
and then he'll fall in the lava. So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wanted to recreate that boss
Right,
sort of
right.
in SMW,
Mm-hmm.
um, but just kind of do my own twist. I really love trying to, I don't necessarily like to copy people
Sure.
or
Yeah, yeah.
games or anything like that. I mean, I'm always just like, how can I do my own twist on this? What's something else I can do with
Right.
this? That's a big part of my design philosophy
Mm-hmm.
is I don't want to just copy something.
Right.
I want to say I want to put my own flair on
Mm-hmm.
this gimmick.
Yeah, 'cause you want to make something that's unique. So,
Yeah, for sure.
um, and I'm gonna kind of jump around here, but
Yeah, that's fine.
so exit number 10, Swamp Symphony.
Hmm.
Something that really stood out to me is like, oh shit, the DKC bees are in here.
Yeah.
And I didn't know until I saw Gooch drop a Galumba on one. I was like, oh wait, this is solid. So, um, yeah, I guess how did you implement the DKC bees in there, and like how does Mario interact with them in that level?
So the DKC zingers once again just
Okay, of
trying
course
to
it's
do
fucking
something
Banana Man of Get On Up.
different.
Mm-hmm.
Is there's a graphic on there on SMW Central. By the
Mm-hmm.
way, SMW Central, huge shout outs to
Mm-hmm.
them,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Just a huge repository of
Mm-hmm.
just crazy things that are all there for free for
Right.
us to consume. So huge shout outs to them
Yeah, for sure.
for holding all of this.
Mm-hmm.
But in the graphics section, there's DKC zingers, and you can insert them and have them do their thing,
Yeah.
right? So you can just kind of so what I did for that was, you take the sample level that I believe is in there,
Mm-hmm.
that has all the X animation set up to make the zingers look proper, and
Mm-hmm.
essentially just made them act like death blocks.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
So
Okay.
So I made them act like death blocks that even if you're on Yoshi, because typically I think you would make them act like munchers,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but Yoshi can stand on munchers.
Right.
So that solution doesn't really work.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily in the ROM hack race based ROM, which I use for all of my hacks,
Mm-hmm.
um, huge shout outs to them as well,
Mm-hmm.
Ampersam and the rest of the crew over there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they have these death blocks that'll kill you even if you're on Yoshi.
Right.
So just make them act like that,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to stomp a Galumba
Right.
to
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
obstacle. So, and that's another case where, yeah, I could have showed you that a little bit earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could have showed you that interaction could occur.
Mm-hmm.
That was another that's one of those small things that could have cooked a little bit longer
Sure.
if
Sure.
I gave myself enough time.
Yeah. Another level that stood out for me for Get On Up is Exit 6, Seeing Double. Um, I thought it was really cool how you basically make like a whole like landforms
Yep.
come in and out of
I'm
existence with a
choking.
switch block.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so that level, I wanted to do something with, if I have an obsession with on-off blocks, I've been told.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that in all the
Uh,
videos that I watched. Yeah,
yeah, I like on-off blocks,
yeah.
which obviously means I'm out of ideas according to
Oh my
Aerobomb.
God.
So and so I just wanted to kind of make this terrain and I didn't want to just use standard on-off blocks. I thought it didn't look castle-y. It didn't look
Mm.
very good,
Mhm.
when it looked Mario Maker.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
didn't want it to look like a Mario Maker level. And so I created all these blocks, and oh my gosh, the X animation is just terrible on it because I didn't know that you have to use slot 0 and 8. You have to make sure that they're 8 or 9 apart to make sure they're on the same cycle, so you can
Mhm.
see obviously these are things as a creator that you're just always thinking about. As a viewer, you're like, what the hell is Morrie talking about? So so like some of them don't turn off and on at the same rate,
Oh, okay.
and things like that.
Mhm.
So if you're ever watching that hack, you'll be able to see it for sure.
Mhm.
But I just wanted to create terrain that you kind of had to toggle on and off in order
Right.
to kind of progress. And I thought it would be cool to do some custom blocks and try to get those to work. And again, the boss fight for that is you're kind of in this
Mhm.
room, but you also have to contend with these blocks that are turning on and off,
Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
isn't something new. There's definitely a lot. There's newbie Kaizo world that does that. There's a
Mhm.
number of hacks that do that, but um, I just wanted something else that you could do with that, I guess, rather than just have it be a standard boss
Right.
fight with a boo. So.
I definitely think it fits with the theme of the level too, though. So it makes sense
Hmm.
that that's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, um. Okay, so there was something small you did with Exit 4 Disco Inferno that was interesting. Is you have to stand just on like the edge of these pipes because the piranha plant comes out. So I thought that was interesting. You have to be on the pipe just ever so slightly. Um,
Yeah, I started becoming a sicko for precision stuff.
yeah.
I think I was watching too much Morsel,
Oh, I see. Okay.
and so I think Morsel definitely got into my head a little bit
Mm-hmm.
with that particular level. I'm thinking about the piranha plant level from elephants
Mm-hmm.
for that. So
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
certainly there's definitely some influence with that, and it was just kind of just a thought that I had, like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, let's try to do this because it doesn't seem too bad to do,
Mm-hmm.
to get on the edge of this pipe. And oh my gosh, I was so wrong. um going back, it's part of the creator blindness,
Yeah.
um where you do something enough times and it just becomes second nature, and then you just give it to somebody else and they're
Mm-hmm.
like, Morrie, Morrie, you got to stop, man.
Yeah,
You got to stop. So
yeah. There's two more things I want to talk about for Get On Up, then we'll move on to
yeah,
Fresh Hops.
yeah, that's fine.
So Exit 13, you might have to correct my pronunciation on this. Delphinide? How is that?
Delphinidae.
Delphinidae. Okay, okay. So this to me is something I haven't seen before. So I haven't seen like you have these well, you have two major sets of dolphins. You have the ones you can stand on and the one you get hurt on if you stay on.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that alternation between having the power up, getting on the bad dolphins, getting on the good dolphins, that was interesting to me. Um,
Yeah. Mega Scott
mhm,
had the dolphins that you could the green dolphins that kind of go side by
mhm,
side
mhm.
from Akagari 2.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yep.
I really enjoyed using the dolphin as sort of a platform. And so once again, it was just one of those, I really want to use something like this, but I
Mhm,
want to put my own twist on it. And I
mhm.
kind of had this idea of, well, what if you had
Press
these
jump.
dolphins that hurt you? And so I wanted to use the red color.
Right.
I saw it in Grandpa World 1.
Mhm,
Was just like, well, that would be a good indication that they would hurt you.
mhm.
And so I wanted to kind of have this like platforming level um, on dolphins that some would hurt you and some would help you out.
Right. Yeah.
And I believe it's the second section that I also introduced just regular
Yeah.
dolphins.
Mhm.
Um,
It's just a
and
flat
yeah, it
stroke.
was a lot of fun to create
It is
that
slightly
level.
Mhm.
faster to
Went
skip
through a
the
couple of
H,
iterations for
Yeah.
but it's
sure, but
mostly just a
the
flex.
end result was
Like
I
I don't need
really
the. I'm so
enjoy
good at this
that
level. I
level
don't even
a
need
lot.
the
That's
H.
probably one of
That's
my
literally
more
all it
favorite
is,
levels
Nice.
basically.
from Get
You
On
also
Up.
save like
Yeah, and
point
honestly,
three
I agree
seconds
that the
by
red dolphins
skipping the
standing out
H.
as just like the bad dolphins really stands out for me. Or the ones that hurt you, that is.
Hmm.
And then with Exit 14, pick up the pieces. Um, it was like a series of like two paths you could take. Um, I think having all of that choice is interesting. Wait, sorry. How many? I might be mixing this up with Fresh Ops. Actually, how many times can you choose between different paths and pick up the pieces?
I believe. Let me think here. It's I think it's 4 times.
4 times. Okay. Okay.
So I'm thinking Star Shell. Yeah, so there's 4 different rooms.
Okay.
Plus the cape room,
Oh, I
which you
missed
can
that
skip.
Kaizo block
Okay.
for a
If you
second.
100% it.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Nope, this way.
that was a shout out to Laser Belch.
Ah. Okay.
So I know Laser doesn't really like cape that much.
I see.
So I think he was very happy to see
Yeah.
that. You gotta make sure to keep the big streamers happy, right? So they play your hacks, right?
Yeah.
Um, no, that was just a special reward I wanted to do. But the 4 different rooms, I kind of wanted to do something. The one thing that I always like to do is I
Mm-hmm.
don't like to do the same thing twice.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
In theory, I don't. I always want to try to do something different. I want to always try to push myself
Mm-hmm.
with making a hack, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, let's push myself a little bit, and let's make like a choice where you can choose this room or this room and kind of
Mm-hmm.
forge your own path and choose your own path.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I had really tried to do anything like that um, with like a castle.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a lot of work, just a crap ton of work, because you have to essentially make sure that each one plays the same, that each one is just about as difficult as the other one.
Right. You have to try to balance it.
Yeah, you have to try to balance it. And I actually put in an update, because originally you couldn't go back
Mm-hmm.
to the original hub room. So if you're just like, this just isn't for me, I hate this, you
Right.
would actually be stuck with it in a earlier version.
Yeah.
And so I kind of was just like, let's be a little lenient with the player.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and make sure that they can go back if they need to.
Right. Yeah, that's good.
Benevolent creator, if you will. And So you kind of go through the rooms, and um, the last room, I don't know if you're going to ask me about this or not, but I'm just going to take a guess. Is there's a Toadette uh, room, but no one knows what it does, and actually that's an homage because this was actually supposed to be a Toadette hack. But the tap tap boss actually is not compatible with the Toadette patch that needs
Hmm.
to be implemented. So I had to choose between whether this was going to be a Mario adventure or a Toadette adventure, and so I just kind of left Toadette in there as kind of like a special homage to what it was supposed to be. And it's an R to freeze Mario, and then you have to time it. It's absolute horse crap. Uh, it's a very very tough level, and it gets super repetitive. And again, could have cooked a little bit more. So, but I really enjoyed giving the players a choice and then having them go back if they wanted to change their selection if something wasn't for them. I really do try to make sure the player has a good time
Yeah.
with every hack that I make. So
Um, Also, one last question that is like it's a very trivial question, but I have to ask
yeah.
because I am immature. There's a there's this final boss door. Is it supposed to look like something?
Look like what? Can you tell me specifically? I don't think there's anything that comes to mind, but do you think it looks like something?
A certain male genitalia.
Oh, oh, well, I certainly would have never taken it that
No,
way.
no. Okay, yeah, it's all me then. Okay, my bad, my bad. So,
You sick people.
okay, let's jump into fresh hops.
Yeah.
So again, I can't cover it all because Morrie has stuff to do too. So, but
Okay.
uh,
Yeah.
but I feel like I saw like some Invictus influence in Catcham, um, with the downward moving vines, or was that
Oh,
just?
in Homolopalicious.
Or sorry, you know what? Okay, I apologize in advance because some of the levels I named based off of what Gooch was calling his splits, and he might have called his split Catcham. So,
Yeah. So that the beer for that was Humalupalicious by
okay.
Shorts Brewing.
Hmm.
Gooch, yeah, he does his own thing, whatever. Um, I'm sure he's got very flattering names for all the levels.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, kind of I once again it's just kind of wanting to do something different, right?
Hmm.
And I hadn't really seen the moving vines in another hack other than
Oh, okay,
Invictus.
okay, yeah, yeah,
And I mean, I'm sure they're out there, right?
right.
But I just hadn't played any or seen any,
Yeah.
and so it's just like let's just try to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try to make a level with these moving vines,
Mm-hmm.
and bold choice to open your hack with a vine level. uh,
There we go.
that was a bold choice, but I wanted to make it somewhat short and kind of ease the player into the hack,
Yeah.
because it does get quite difficult later on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so just kind of give the player a easy-ish win,
Right.
to kind of introduce them, and that they were a mother effort to try to program, but it's just another one of those things where I try to push myself to learn new things and
Mm-hmm.
not just do the same thing every
Yeah, for
hack.
sure.
So working with these sprites that overwrite and things like that and trying to get them to work and stuff, like I really came away from Fresh Hops with a lot more knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that shows in the hack, like the transition from Chi to get on up to Fresh Hops. You
Yeah.
can kind of see the evolution of each of these are a different experience, right? And you can see sort of the maturity and the level design and the aesthetics and how everything kind of Fresh Hops, I think, was the first hack where I felt like everything kind of came together.
Mm-hmm.
Where it was just like this is a really good hack.
Mm-hmm. Um, something you did in Exit 2, Bel Brown,
Yeah.
was simple, but also like unique as well. Or at least I haven't seen it, which is you have these ropes that will trigger like a P switch, basically.
Yeah.
Um, and so how do you think that changes things versus just having like a regular like P switch?
Um, I think it because it allows you to do it just kind of gives you a fresh perspective on what you're doing. You
Mm-hmm.
know, yeah, I could have had a P switch there. Absolutely. I could
Mm-hmm.
have had all these separate rooms and stuff, but I don't know, just interacting with a P switch in a different way,
Mm-hmm.
as simple as it is,
Yeah.
um, just kind of gives the player just kind of something different to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have to grab this rope. And yeah,
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's essentially a P switch run, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're interacting with the P switch in a different way, versus just hitting it,
Right.
you know. You only get one shot at it,
Mm-hmm.
like a typical P switch.
Right.
And so I just wanted to do something a little bit different with that.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm just like, yeah, let's have you grab on the rope. Let's make the rope part of the platforming
Mm-hmm.
because essentially you need to grab this rope at
Right.
certain points in order to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was just kind of an interesting way to do a P switch run.
Right.
Taking a typical level concept and turning it into something that is engaging to the player and fun for the player.
I will say, me personally, like what I liked about the P switch rope is just it's not often you like Kaizo gives you time to think, and
Hmm.
so I like the idea of like, okay, let me just hang on this rope for a second, let me plan my moves. Okay, now we'll execute. So I like having that freedom for sure.
Yeah, yeah, it's a very lenient level.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, there's definitely a couple of tight spots there here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but there's a couple setups where I'm just like, no one's gonna get that. I really want this setup, but nobody's gonna be able to know how to execute this unless they look at it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so it was just a kind of a design choice to say let's make this a little lenient. Let's give the player a little time to think
Mm-hmm.
and give them time to execute. And honestly, I'm really happy that I made that design choice for that level.
Yeah, yeah, it's really cool for sure. Um, also, something obvious that I should have said at the beginning, but I did not. Are each of these levels are named after like some sort of like beer, right? Like.
Yeah, so I definitely doxed myself, because most of them are from Michigan,
Oh, I see. Okay.
the
Yeah,
great
yeah,
state of Michigan.
yeah.
But I really I'm a lover of beer.
Okay.
I love craft beer,
Mm-hmm.
and I love Michigan craft beer.
Mm-hmm.
And so being able to name these levels and kind of showcase what they're about in
Mm-hmm.
level form,
Right.
was just kind of a silly way to kind of force yourself to create a design concept. Humalopalicious, my absolute favorite beer.
Mm-hmm.
It's like drinking a Christmas tree, because it's brewed with pine needles.
Ah, okay. All right.
So you see the
Yeah,
correlation
yeah,
between the
yeah.
vines and
Interesting.
stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so I had these collection of beers that I really really enjoyed, and just like let's make a hack out of
That's
these.
really
Let's
cool.
try
Yeah.
to let's try to see if we can create a level that represents each of these.
Mm-hmm. Um, something. Okay, this is not necessarily like This isn't undone per se, but it's definitely I haven't seen it like a lot, which is in Falls Tannin. You have the sprites fall slow, but you do not. So
Hmm.
I think that's very interesting. Like I'm not
Yeah,
used to
yeah.
the asynchronous, not asymmetrical aspect of that.
Yeah, so I actually created a section, that Gooch lovingly calls the annulus, where there's a section get on up that has the sprites in water, but you're not. And I wanted to
Right.
just kind of expand on that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
certainly it's been done. I think probably one of the more famous
Oh my
examples
God.
is Sayonara 2,
Mhm.
and which is just a fantastic hack. If you've not played Sayonara 2, highly recommend.
Mhm.
But it was just kind of
I
I really want to make a whole like level with this concept,
Yeah.
and really kind of expand it and lab it and just really try to make a fun level. And honestly, I think that's probably the level that everybody really likes the
Oh,
most
really? Okay.
out of Fresh Ops.
Mhm.
I think if you were to poll people that have played it, I would say that one would probably be at the top of the list for
Okay.
some reason.
Mhm.
I don't know why.
It sounds like you don't necessarily agree.
It's a really good level.
Yeah.
I think it's just because it's really readable.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, for
Like
sure.
you can definitely get a lot of progress once you figure out the first setup.
Mhm.
Um, you can just go.
Right.
And because the sprites are falling at such a slow rate, you have time to you have time to react to what you want to do. So I think the reason why it's so popular, or, that it's one of the more um, favorite levels, is
Yeah.
just because it's so readable.
Mhm.
Like you just instantly know what you do when you get to every single obstacle.
Um Also, so right now I'm gonna ask you for permission as far as like we are at an hour. Uh I could either go through I'm not gonna go through all the exits, but just ones that I'm like interested in. Are you cool if we keep going or
Dog is still sleeping, so we're
okay.
good.
All right, great. Okay, so let's see. I found a couple things interesting. So first with Presque Ale, I guess there's one door where I guess if you get the mushroom, you can't go in the door anymore because you're bigger than the door. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. So I think that's the second room,
Mm-hmm.
where you have to bait this chuck,
Yeah.
but also avoid the mushrooms.
Right.
I don't know. Just thought, hey,
oh my
let's
God.
screw
I
over the
can't.
player.
It's a really cool concept. I
Um,
didn't know that you have
There
to
we
be
go.
the same size. Well, you can't be bigger than the door to go in it.
yeah. And that's something that you occasionally do see in Kaizo hacks,
Mm-hmm.
is having to be small.
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
um it's something you don't typically see, but honestly, it's such a really cool concept to
Mm-hmm.
me. I actually, there's a level that I was kind of labbing for that for
Mm-hmm.
Fresh Hops. Couldn't quite get it to work, but I honestly um took that kind of idea of just I think I had seen it in gosh, I can't, I probably shouldn't, I don't want to name the wrong hack, but I had seen that somewhere where you collect this mushroom as a troll,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can't get into the door.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, mushroom, you instantly go
Yeah.
for it, and then you
Right.
realize, oh
Thank you for
shoot,
that, but
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
so
interesting.
I can't remember the
Oh, that
name of
was
the
my
hack.
goal.
I
We
wish I
didn't lose
did,
that.
but that's sort of was like, oh, that'd be kind of a cool
Mm-hmm.
little
Mm-hmm.
gimmick to
Yeah,
do.
for sure.
Obviously, I show you the door, so you kind of know, but yeah, I think there's a frame perfect trick to get in there. I haven't seen it done yet, so
Um, and also, all these levels in Prescale, they're one screen sections. And did you give a checkpoint for each after each screen?
yes,
Okay, that
yeah,
was really good. I like that actually.
yeah. That was based off of player feedback.
Oh, I see. So you
They're
originally didn't have the
originally,
checkpoints there.
yeah, and I think I was yelled at by that.
Yeah,
Like, you gotta give a checkpoint, dude.
yeah,
What the hell are you thinking? So that's the benefit of playtesting
yeah,
feedback. So
yeah. So exit six, serendipity.
mhm.
I feel like I haven't seen this before, where you have these vines that are either generating like they have like a trail of clouds or spikes behind them.
Mhm.
That was really cool to me. I don't think I've seen something like that before.
Yeah, so obviously that was another level that was Yoshi's Island inspired.
Oh, okay.
Um, there's a
Probably
number of
after
auto
stream, after
scrollers
I've
in
had
Yoshi's Island,
enough bite
where
to
you
eat.
kind of have this.
So
I don't want to
probably
say
like
appearing and disappearing ground, but you kind of have to
7:38 Pacific
kind of
time.
always
Ah,
be
shit.
looking ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really wanted to kind of reinforce that idea, and I even chose Yoshi's Island music for that level.
Oh, nice.
Um, and yeah, so it's very much it definitely feels like you're playing a Yoshi's Island level,
Right.
where you're
Yeah.
constantly having to look ahead,
Yeah, roughly.
and see what you need to do next.
Mhm.
And yeah, there's a cheeky little troll at the end of the first section
Yeah.
there. But just kind of wanted to do that in sort of a Kaizo Mario form. So
Mm-hmm. And then, okay, uh, honestly, for low hanging fruit, Exit 7 is it was very cute. I like the DK chucks and little monkeys they have in it.
you're one of the few.
Oh really? Or is that sarcasm?
There is I think viewers
Shit.
love the DK chucks.
Oh, I
The
see.
players despise them.
Okay, sure.
It's sort of a meme. So,
And then
but
replacing
yeah,
the footballs with bananas was a very cute touch.
yeah. So that was another thing that I found on SMW Central.
Mhm.
These DK chucks that
Yeah.
replace the football with bananas and
Mhm.
things like that.
Yeah.
So I did not come up with that.
Gotcha. Okay.
That was
Okay.
just something that was already included, and I
Yeah.
was just like, oh, I've got to include that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was just a nice reskin that I just thought would fit with that level
Yeah.
perfectly.
And then with Exit 8 Two Hearted, I don't know what this mechanic is called, but I call it like a shadow clone chase.
Oh, the cosmic clone, yes.
Yeah. So I had a couple questions about that. So first of all, first thing I will definitely remember from this level is Blanca theme for the level. Love the
Hmm.
choice because
Thank you.
yeah, I grew up with Street Fighter, so I love it. Um,
I have never played Street Fighter in
oh
my life.
really? Oh god.
Uh, but I felt the mood and theme of Blanca's theme just fit that level perfectly.
Okay. Um, so couple thoughts on this level. So number one, what is the delay on the shadow? Like how much? I'm trying to understand how much further ahead you have to be of this shadow.
Um, I mean, it follows to that fairly closely.
Okay.
So you kind of always have to keep moving. You can certainly set a delay on there for it to be a certain distance away
Right.
or things
Yeah.
like that. But
Mhm.
I wanted to keep it close, but obviously not like right on to
Yeah.
that. Just basically would get in the way if you made a wrong jump.
Mhm.
Is
That
kind
was
of
a
how I
scam.
wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And
I got
I've seen
PC'd
other
really
Cosmic
quickly
Clone
there.
levels, and obviously many more have been done
Mhm.
since Fresh Ops has come out. But honestly, I just wanted to have a level where you just keep running, um,
Sure.
and you have to keep moving. And I didn't want to do like a whole lot of stalling. I just
Mhm.
wanted to keep you moving as a player. I think definitely there's other I think of Tortured Souls
Mm.
too, that has the cosmic clones
Oh
and the
yeah.
multiple cosmic clones, and
Yeah.
you have to kind of stall and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And I think the way that RZ did that, and I have not played Tortured Souls 2, but I think the way that RZ did that was really really clever. But
Mhm.
for me, I just I think if I would have done something like that, it wouldn't have fit with the theming of the hack
Mhm.
of just being kind of a fun,
Mm.
fast-paced platformer.
Mhm.
And so I just wanted to kind of keep you moving and make you make decisions
Mhm.
and just kind of get through the level as quick as possible.
Right. I noticed also. I feel like there's a lot of loops in this level.
Hmm.
Um,
Loop de loops, yep.
yeah, and I guess I'm gonna make a guess on why that's the case, because you don't want a level where you're just going forward per se.
Yeah.
Is okay.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously do want to have some sort of movement to the left,
Right.
just simply because that forces you to engage with the clone.
Right.
So having having a level where you sort of have to kind of double back and do something else and things like that,
Right.
like um, that was something that it was an obvious design choice for me to make you interact with the clone and
Right.
make you have to adjust your movements based on where you wanted to go.
Let's see, and then um, in Exit 10, Ravenous, is that how you say it? Or I might.
Exit 10.
It's after Blooming Desert.
Oh, Rubeus.
Rubeus. Okay. Again, sorry everybody. This is me reading Morrie's exits, and I think he was calling it Rab Anus, is my guess.
That sounds like him. Yeah.
But yeah, I saw you have these normal Rexes and the Disco Rexes. Or that's what I think that's what the motion of the Rexes was. It was a disco movement.
Yeah. So that level, that was a fun level to make, for sure. I love. I hadn't really used Rexes a whole lot in my hacks, as well as the eating blocks, and so I wanted to kind of create something that that kind of incorporated the two, because I think you could do a whole lot with the double Jumpasaurus and a moving eating block. And so yeah, that was a lot of fun to make, and allowed me to kind of, when I'm kind of writing down ideas for levels, I like to kind of jam different things together.
Yeah.
And so that level in particular, I was able to have a lot of flexibility with, as far as what I needed to do, because both of these sprites kind of allow you to either stall or go fast depending on what you want to do.
Right.
You can and I think I used the Rexes in a pretty traditional way, but it was definitely something that I enjoyed. I really enjoy the second section to that level. There is a absolute what looks to be a terrible jump just before the goal, but
Yeah.
because the Rex's hitboxes are so bad, you can kind of like go inside of the Rex and still get a bounce off of it. So it's I won't say it's a free obstacle, but
Yeah.
like if you're even remotely close to that Rex, you're gonna pretty much win. I don't think I've seen a single person die to that Rex that's hit it. So and there was definitely a lot of inspiration from Sound of Mario World.
Okay. Yeah.
In that level, where you're kind of doing some different things. Panaha's level design is just it's so, I don't want to say it's simplistic, but there's definitely just some simple elements to that he just is able to really produce on a grand scale, like just really just simple back to basics platforming
Right.
that he does in just such an engaging way. And I think that there was a lot of influence from Sound of Mario World in that level.
And the last level that we'll talk about, I want to talk about Laughing Fish, exit number 11.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, I'm curious about the name, only because, like, maybe it's the name of a beer as well, but honestly, when I think of Laughing Fish, there's actually an episode from Batman called Laughing Fish. I don't know if it's the name of a beer or...
It is the name of a beer.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Yeah, so Laughing Fish is I would say Laughing Fish is one of the levels that people struggled with the most.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I actually asked my friend Janine. She made a port for that from Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
Okay.
That I really wanted to have this beach theme song in there from that hack. She did such a fantastic job with it.
But that's fine.
And yeah, I just kind of I had this beer here from Laughing Fish, and it would be, try to use dolphins again, right? But kind of using them in a different way. And then the moving blocks.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so
That's so really quick, that's
yeah,
that's what drew me the most actually about this level is again very simple but also cool concept where you have to hit this block and then it slides over somewhere and you have to keep in mind of where it's going to position itself.
yeah. So I have become more and more of a fan of using items or things that you get earlier in the level,
Mhm.
and then using them to progress in the level,
Mhm.
by activating something.
Yeah.
I could have done an on-off switch
Mhm.
certainly, but I really love the delay
Yeah.
of the moving blocks,
Mhm.
because one, you could kind of see where it was going,
Right.
and two, you kind of had to time yourself so that you would get there at the right time.
Mhm.
Um, and I love that the idea of using those items to activate those blocks so that
That was real
you
bad.
could kind of just forge your path ahead.
Right.
And it was just these blocks that I found on D to the Fourth's Patreon.
Mhm.
And I hadn't really seen them used before, so I was just like, well, let's just use them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then the layer 2 gimmick with that. So like we had a bunch of things going on in this level, right?
Mhm.
So um I once again I was playing Akugari 2 and I saw this section in there, or I played this section in there where you had to basically not really touch layer 2, otherwise
Mhm.
you weren't going to be able to make the final jump, or you
Mhm.
weren't going to be high enough.
Yeah.
And I had asked Mega Scott, for some assistance with
Mhm.
that,
Mhm.
and he helped out, and um, I was able to kind of create this thing where you don't really want to touch layer 2, otherwise you're gonna not going to be able to progress in the level.
Mhm.
So there was a multitude of things that I kind of was just like, well, I need to present this in a really readable way,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
And so I wanted to, like, the first screen, like, you kind of have an idea of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It definitely was a confusing beginning, but like once people were able to kind of get it,
Mhm.
they were able to progress. But it was a very challenging design from my perspective, because I needed to make something that was readable but yet also like flowing. There definitely still needed to be a flow to the level.
Right. Um, well, yeah, I think those are all my questions about your hacks for today. And yeah, sorry for I said I was gonna keep it to an hour and I
Oh,
failed,
that's fine. Oh,
but
you're fine.
I appreciate you giving me more of your time.
No,
Um,
yeah, not a problem at all.
and yeah, everybody, if you play Kaizo, I'll link Morrie's profile in the description. Go to his profile, check out all of his hacks, like Chi, Get On Up, Fresh Hops, and in a few months, give or take, Fresh Ops 2.
Yeah.
And yeah, also, Morrie also streams on Twitch. So if you'd like to talk with him, ask him questions about his hacks, you can also do that.
Yeah, I always love talking to people about SMW, and I love talking about level design. It's
Hmm.
one of my favorite things to talk about, where you kind of analyze things on the fly, and
Hmm.
it's I'm more than happy to talk with anybody, to talk shop about lunar magic or
Nice.
SMW
Yeah,
or
yeah.
level design just in general.
Awesome. Well, yeah, thank you again for your time and for the interview, and have a
Yeah,
good one.
no, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.